Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
What's up, folks? It's Wolfie D here with my partner here, Jimmy, across the street. And you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D. What's up, everyone? What's up, Jimmy?
What up, brother? How you doing? You doing all right today?
I'm doing well. 2 cups of coffee in me. Working on finishing up a Coco Beware drawing. Nice. Almost finished with that one. But that's what I'm doing this morning.
Man, you've been busy, brother. I saw something recently on your feed. I'm not a big fan of these in real life, but it looks like you've got a very large mutated Black Widow spider at your crib. What's up with that?
Yeah, he's somewhat of a Black Widow. It's, it's getting Halloween. And if you recall from last year, when I do Halloween, I do Halloween, and I got a girlfriend that feels the same way. So when it comes to Halloween, we hook it up. We were laughing the other day because a couple of the neighbors it's still in September.
Yeah.
Already started putting shit out.
Yeah.
And I said, Michelle, did they live here last year? Like, do they know what's fixing to go in our yard? They're going to feel real minor league once we get all ours out. But yeah, so I'm building this giant spider. Like it's almost the width of my garage, almost.
But
I can't decide whether I'm going to put him on the roof of the house or we're going to keep him on the ground. But looking at it, I don't know what you think I used or whatever, but I disguised a lot of it pretty well. Some pool noodles for the legs, some wiring on the inside of the legs to make them where I can manipulate them, articulate them. Yeah. A yoga ball for the big part of the body, and then a kid's bouncy ball, like from Walmart, for the head. Yeah. A bunch of expanding foam, paint. For the eyeballs, I used the half round part of Easter eggs,
Yes.
And then 700 toothpicks for the leg hairs and the hairs on the face.
Man, I was going to say that was the touch right there. Because, the eyeballs were great. I thought that's a good representation. The foam on the belly, is that supposed to be like, I thought it looked kind of like an egg sac. Now, I think you've painted it over. I've seen a lot of the process.
Yeah, that mainly is to hold that ball there. The foam
gotcha.
Kind of holds it, seals everything. It's sticky and hardened, So that's basically to keep that there. And it was going to be very hard, and I thought stupid looking if I encapsulated that whole ball so it was lumpy all over. Because that foam's hard to control.
Oh, I bet.
People that are better at it than I am, but you can't really manipulate it, and it comes out just kind of really how it wants to. But anyway, and then working on, I like I said, love Halloween. We also last year, and I'm going to put her back out there, we had a nun. We bought a nun costume, and then we bought this animated clown face that's supposed to be like a door knocker, but we made it into the head of it, and we put a nun outfit on it and then put it on a cross. So we've got a crucified nun clown in our yard too. So,
and y'all, we live in the Bible Belt buckle. We don't just live in the Bible Belt. We live right smack dab in the middle of it. He's in Kentucky. I'm in North Carolina. Tennessee's probably the main segment, but we live right on the outskirts of the Bible Belt buckle. Yeah. So, to put a nun on the cross, I don't know. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I think it is. And the spider dude, trust me, this is legendary. What makes me think is like, here's the thing. Y'all are exactly the people they make those memes about, because, a lot of people are like, oh, once there's a chill in the air, the pumpkin spice comes out. Nah, I don't mean it that way. I mean it once there's a chill in the air is Halloween. It's on. Yeah. I love it. I think it's awesome.
And I ain't going to give away some other stuff. I got some other stuff up my sleeve though.
Yes. Yes. From what I have heard is up your sleeve, people are going to be impressed. It's awesome. I'm excited about that too. So anyway, well, what's cool, man, is we got Butterbean here. Yep. So we met him at RobCon. Thank you to RobCon and the people at RobCon. But you got his number. And what's funny is I asked him at first, and if I've said this already, please forgive me, but I said, "Hey, Bean." And it was kind of a cold intro. You didn't introduce me. It wasn't like, I just kind of walked up to him as everything's getting set up at the convention. And I said, "Hey, man," I said, "would you want to ever come on our podcast?" And he was like, I hate podcasts. And I was like, "Oh man, okay. What do you say to that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I used to have one with Boss Rutan and Flex Wheeler, and we talked about all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, if you guys talk about cool stuff, that'll be fun. But at the same time, I just hate them. I don't like them." And I was like, "Okay." And I go tell you that, and you're like, "Oh man, maybe." And I'm then thinking now that's why I always let Wolfie do the introductions and the asking, because he has a much higher success rating. We're looking at you, Jamie Dundee. We're looking at you. Where you at, Tony Falk?
I thought he was a super nice dude.
Very nice.
First time I had met him, really nice guy.
Very nice.
Yeah, easy to talk to. Talked a little, helpful gimmick business with him, and he appreciated that. And,
nice. Yeah.
So real nice guy, man. And I'm glad he did. Even though he hates them, he's doing it for us. Just like we keep getting, we get lucky, man. Or I don't know. I guess people just maybe they like us. I don't know.
Man, I think it's a snowball, dude. I think, I hope we're putting out good stuff that the people enjoy. Obviously, our numbers are definitely showing that. So I feel like that is snowballing in a direction. You pick up somebody like a Jerry Lynn, you pick up somebody like a Road Dogg, other people see, then you pick up, and it just opens up a realm of possibility. Now, are we going to do a watch along again? Yes. Are we going to do an Ask Wolfie? Sorry. Are we going to do an Ask Wolfie again? Of course we will. But hey, if the guests are here, we're going to talk to them. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? I mean,
yeah.
But tell them the story about why we initially couldn't get up with Butterbean.
Because he had crushed his phone at the RobCon. He completely crushed his phone. So I don't know if he got mad and punched it, or I don't know what happened. But we got it worked out, man. And I'm excited for the people to hear the interview. I mean, he's really, even though he's involved in wrestling, he's one of the first people we've interviewed that's like, I mean, dude, he's been on Jackass. He's fought some of the best, and he's a household name. Everybody knows who Butterbean is.
Absolutely.
So incredible honor for him to come on for us. And I want to say this, and I feel really proud of the fact that not one person that has come on this shows, and y'all know all the guests we've had, Jimmy, nor I, nor anyone else is having to pay anyone. They're coming on here for us, for you guys, to help us, to help them, and I want to say that, man, because I feel good about that. I really do. The guests that come on here are coming on here because they want to. And
absolutely.
That's the cool part,
I totally agree, man. Anyway, let's talk to Butterbean, man. What do you think?
Let's do it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to these sponsors, and we'll be right back with Butterbean
after these messages.
Hey, folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, we're back, folks. Thank you for tuning in once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D. And man, I have a super special, great, awesome guy coming on here. I can't even believe that I have got this person on my show. So cool. Butterbean, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing awesome, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. It was super cool meeting you at the Comic-Con that we were at, the Rob Con, excuse me, that I met you at, man. And I've watched your stuff for years. I love boxing. I obviously was a wrestler, but I love boxing. I just love boxing more than I love MMA. I really do. And you're just one of those guys, man, that you're a freaking celebrity, man. Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows what you look like. I just can't explain how much that it means to me for you to be on here with me, man. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, I love boxing. I fought MMA too and pro wrestling. So, I mean, I've done pretty much every kind of mixed martial arts there is.
Yeah.
Any kind of combat sport, including sumo wrestling in Japan.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much done it all. Had a blast doing it.
Tell me this. All right. So did you what got you into boxing? Were you a boxing fan? I mean, how did you get into what you do?
Well, it was a dare. I was working at a factory and this guy worked at a tough man contest. And I said, hell, I could beat people up for money. And they said, well, you ought to go do it. Next thing I know, I'm in a tough man contest beating the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And getting paid and not going to jail. Hell of a job.
So tough man is what got you into boxing?
Yeah, that's what started it. Then they kicked me out and I wanted to keep fighting. So I went pro.
So who was your trainer? Like, who trained you to box?
Well, a guy named Murray Sutherland held the IBF super middleweight title. He fought Tommy Hearns, Michael Spinks, Matthew Salmon. He fought all kind of big names. Mm-hmm. He trained me, and he done a great job. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff from him. That's
awesome because, I mean, dude, I've watched all your stuff. Like I said, I've watched all your stuff. You're you're a freak of nature, man. All your stuff. Was there ever a time, and I've got to ask this because I was as a kid, I was a huge Mike Tyson fan. Was there ever a time when you were going to fight him or no?
It never got booked, but there was a lot of talk about it at the time. I mean, we've even negotiated with Don King about it. And, I know Tyson well. Tyson's a great guy. Yeah. I mean, people really misunderstand him. He's not like, he's kind of like a 12-year-old that you give millions of dollars to, and he just don't know always how to act.
Yeah.
But he never really had no great upbringing, so, I mean, it's understandable. But he's a great guy. I mean, he really is.
Yeah. So what happened with that? I mean, why did that fight never happen?
Well, they've always kept him away from big punchers.
Okay.
He could punch, but he didn't have the greatest chin, I don't believe. I mean, he had a great defense where he didn't get hit a lot, but if you connected, he'd go down.
Yeah. Right.
And I fought people that he fought, and I knocked them out, and they beat him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who did you beat that he didn't beat?
Well, I beat a guy named Louis Monaco that knocked out several people and knocked Tyson out.
Yeah.
He knocked out Buster Douglas, knocked out Kevin McBride. I knocked him out real quick.
Real quick.
And real quick.
Your punches are, oh my God. I was watching, doing a little research on you, man. And God, man, you hit hard, dude. You hit hard.
I wish I'd have got into this whole YouTube, all that kind of crap way before, because there's some of my videos that got billions of views.
Yeah.
Billions of views is a lot of money. I mean, so whoever posted them made a killing off me. It's great for them. I got no problem. I got no hard feelings that they were the smart ones to do it. But I'm just, I grew up in the age playing with rocks and stones and slingshots and BB guns, not computers and video games.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, though, for real. You and Tyson, what would happen in that fight? I
tell you what, it'd be a hell of a fight. We'd go to the center of the ring. We'd both be throwing punches. Nobody'd be running. It'd be a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, who knocked out who? I wouldn't know. I've never been knocked out. I've had my bell rung once by a guy named Cabotrero with a leg kick, but never been knocked out.
You know, it was always like the water cooler talk. Oh, Butterbean would knock Tyson out, or Tyson would knock Butterbean out. This kind of thing.
Me having a killer punch. I mean, they kept him away from people that could punch.
Yeah.
That had serious, devastating punching power. So when I come in the picture, that's about the time they're keeping him away from people that could actually punch.
Have they ever measured? Is there a measurement of your punch and its power?
Not that I know of. I don't know of any measurement period of anybody's punch.
Okay.
Technology now is so great. Yeah, maybe so, but
gotcha.
I don't know. They're not of mine.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense.
I would put it in the hard category.
I would agree.
Yeah, exactly. I'd agree with that too. Could you beat him?
I believe so. I wouldn't want to do it. I still want to fight him.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd love to fight Jake Paul right now. Just shut his ass up.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's awesome, man. I love shit like this, man. Like in your, because when I saw you, when I met you, at the RobCon thing, you're on crutches. I know you got.
Well, if you just see me 3 years ago, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I mean, my hips were so bad.
Yeah.
I went and lived with Diamond Dallas Page for 4 months.
Yeah.
Shot a reality show called Change Your Diet, and it's coming out pretty soon. Buff Bagwell's in there, and there's some other people in there you wouldn't know of, but it made a huge difference, impact in my life. Got me up and walking again.
Yeah.
We haven't used a crutch right now because I just had hip surgery about 2 months ago. Have another hip surgery in another week.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be up and going really well.
When I saw you on the second day of that, the Comic-Con that we met each other at, dude, I told my wife, I told Jimmy, I said, he was walking like he was training. Like you were on your crutches, but it was like it was like training. I just saw you doing that. I'm like, man, this dude he's trying to walk. You know what I mean? And you,
yeah, I mean, when you're not able to do something for 3 years,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, you got to get up and get going again. It's time to go. I mean, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of fighters, a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of athletes have depression bad.
Oh yeah.
Can't explain it all the time. I mean, you don't know why. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had that problem with depression, but
absolutely.
Sometimes it just kicks in and it kicks you in the ass. I mean, it's like, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do nothing. Your muscles hurt. Your body's just like, leave me the F alone. I mean, just stay away from me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can totally understand that because I go through that every day, man. I've got to have a hip surgery. I need back surgery, also my neck. And I've also had, I tore my quadricep off my kneecap 2 years ago. So yeah, I get it, man. And just the things that
injuries ain't always it. It's just you just don't know why you're depressed. I mean, a lot of people that suffer from depression are not athletes, but a lot of athletes do get depression, just like everybody else. We're human too.
Yeah. Exactly. And man,
or actors, look at Robin Williams. I mean, he had a disease that was going to kill him eventually, but he went into a depression to where he killed himself.
Yeah.
I mean, so being a star and being rich and famous don't always make you invincible to being a human.
Yeah. I agree 100%, man. I've seen so many of my friends, man, that have either killed themselves by suicide or delayed suicide just by doing
drugs and
you know what I mean? And
I do understand that.
People don't get that, man. But I'm glad that you can acknowledge that and say it, man.
Me and Boss Rutan and Flex Wheeler had a talk show, podcast we were doing for a while. We just got all too busy to be able to do it, and it's called Talking Tough.
Yeah.
And that's some of the things we covered, you know, things that other people in our situation didn't want to talk about, you know, the human side of life.
Yeah.
And, you know, brought up, it saved a lot of people, I think. I mean, a lot of people realize that, you know, hey, it's just not me. Everybody can get depression.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I see a psychiatrist. I mean, I put my stuff out here weekly. I see a psychiatrist, man, because of the stuff that I've been through, the things that I've seen. You know, boxing and wrestling, a little different, but we're still athletes. And, you know, you have that thing of, for me, especially, the one thing that bothers me the most is the body image stuff. As a kid, when I got into the wrestling business at 15 years old, oh, you're too small, you're this, you're that. Okay, so then I got bigger. You know, I did steroids. I did, you know, to get me bigger. And then it's just like, you got to be on TV every week, and people are knocking how you look and stuff like that. So I completely understand and agree with that, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, people just don't realize that, you know, just because you made a name for yourself, that you're not invincible to everything.
Yeah, you're not. Absolutely.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Hey folks, this is Wolfie D here, and if you are looking to buy or sell a home in Tennessee or Southern Kentucky, you're going to want to call my buddy, the rock star realtor, Benji Bowie. And you say, Wolfie, how do I get in touch with this rock star? Well, you can call him directly at 615-390-8216. You can go to his website, bowiehomes.com. That's B-U-I-E homes.com. Or you can email him at benbowie34@gmail.com. When you need a home, you need the Rockstar Realtor. Benji is a member of Exit Realty's Garden Gate team in Gallatin, Tennessee.
So I'm going to go ahead and take us on into pro wrestling here. So, you know, you worked in the WWF with Marc Mero at the DX in Your House pay-per-view in 97. Then, of course, that horrible Brawl For All happened, and then you kind of cleaned up the scraps after the Brawl For All.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Butterbean says he's not a boxer, he's a fighter, and Bart Gunn, he's not a boxer at all, but he impressed everyone. And keep in mind, King, as you look at Vinny Pazienza, the special guest referee.
5 points for the most punches landed, and you get 10 for a big knockdown. Now fight hard and kick some ass.
Oh, King, keep in mind, Bart Gunn has a deadly left hand. Oh, without a doubt. Why they call him the Hammer. We're going to be keeping score, folks, end of each round. Unofficial results. We've got judges at ringside. Chuck Wetner, Kevin Rooney, Gorilla Monsoon. Here we go, round one, Brawl For All. Butterbean and Bart Gunn. And Butterbean with a stiff left to start things off. There's a left by Bart Gunn. Who do you give the edge to in this one, King? Well, I'm going to tell you, I think without a doubt, probably Butter. Ooh, wow! Did you see that? Both of these guys got right. Butterbean right hand and a knockdown of Bart Gunn early on. Butterbean caught Bart Gunn with a hard right hand. 300 pounds of power behind him. And keep in mind, Butterbean. If I were you, Bart, I'd go for a takedown. 27 seconds left. There's the right hand, folks. It's over. Goodbye. It's over. Butterbean with a first-round knockout of Bart Gunn. Man. Butterbean with a tremendous right hand. A first-round knockout of Bart Gunn. Woo. Dr. Roma Scavenge already tending to Bart.
Here is your winner,
Me and Mero done 4 or 5 different wrestling events together before we did the one event.
Okay. How was that?
I had a good experience with him. I mean, a lot of people had trouble with Vince, but everything Vince told me, I mean, he done. I mean, yeah, he sometimes didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, but what he said he was going to do, he did for me. I mean, so, you know, I guess some people he backstabs and whatnot, but he always treated me straight up. Me and him become good friends. A lot of people thought it was like that I knew him from like long ago because we'd stand and talk for 30 minutes, just bullshitting.
Yeah, yeah.
So they do this Brawl for All, and honestly, as a wrestler, I think it was stupid. I don't even know why they did that. I really hate it. I think it killed.
I thought it was a tremendous idea, to be honest with you, but it wasn't good for wrestling.
No, absolutely, yeah. From your point of view, yes, it's fucking awesome. But I just thought for wrestling it was stupid. I don't know why they did it. And this is what I really want to know, because they wanted Steve Williams, Dr. Death, to be in the finals. I think with you, I think that was the deal,
right?
Do you think, would that have been a better fight than with Bart? Because you killed Bart, and I've worked Bart. He's a fucking big, giant, huge guy.
Bart's problem tried to box. He tried to go out there and get trainers. Apparently they hired trainers for him.
Uh-huh.
And he tried to box. You got 1 minute round. I converted back to tough man style.
Yeah.
I converted back to brawling and just throwing punches like a madman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 1 minute.
Did they ever come to you and be like, hey, this is like, certainly they had you were going to be the final big boss or whatever, like in a video game, you were the boss. So did they ever come to you and go, hey, it's going to be Steve Williams, we want Steve, or did they ever tell you, like, this is what we think is going to happen?
No, it wasn't even brought up. Him fighting until Bart had already won.
Okay.
It wasn't even brought to me until Bart had won already.
And so they just came to you. Did they come to you?
No, I had a pay-per-view. I had a pay-per-view left in my contract.
Okay.
A WrestleMania in my contract already.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. And they say Bart was tough.
The person that we want you to fight.
Yeah, I knew from the beginning who it was going to be.
Okay. All right.
I didn't know they were doing the Brawl for All, to be honest with you, until it come up to me, hey, we did this contest, see the toughest wrestler was, and Bart won. We want you to fight him. Awesome.
Right.
That was it. That was the whole conversation.
Gotcha.
I didn't want into money details, but
sure.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't even ask you that, man. But it was just like, I feel like the whole thing, just as a wrestling person, man, I thought the whole thing was stupid. I think it killed a lot of careers. It really did.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Like Boss Burton on our podcast, he'd say a lot. He goes, because he done a lot of pro wrestling in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He got more injured in wrestling than he did in his real fights. His wife always told him, you go back to real fights because you're not getting injured as bad. But just the opposite, a lot of the wrestlers were getting seriously injured fighting the straight up non-work fights.
Yeah.
So with that, that leads you into an MMA career. You go to Pride. I remember there was talks of a fight with Mark Hunt. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, it was actually scheduled in Vegas, but Hunt couldn't come in the country.
Right. But then you ended up fighting a wrestler that Wolfie probably knows as Sean O'Hare, and you kind of figured him out pretty quick.
I knocked him out bad.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Do you think Mark would have been a better fight?
Oh, Mark would have been a tough fight, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it went to Sean O'Hare because I got paid more money because it switched to MMA. It was going to be, me and Hunt was going to be a stand-up fight.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
A stand-up kickboxing instead of an MMA fight.
Yeah. You brought it up earlier, Butterbean, and I just wanted to hear your take on it because the Paul brothers, obviously, Jake, Logan, what's up with that? What's the deal with that?
They're not fighting nobody. They got all kinds of stupid rules. You can't knock me down. You can't knock me out. Oh my God! If you're gonna fight. If you're gonna be a boxer, be a boxer.
Right.
If you're gonna run out and run your jabs about, oh my God, I went and trained in a little shitty gym. I didn't stay in my $1 million house, and That ain't the point of it. That ain't how you get the grit. It's when you don't have the $1 million house to fall back on, then you get the grit.
Right.
That's what he don't understand. He's too stupid for that.
Yeah.
He actually said that in an article that, you know, somebody asked him about me, you know, being the show, you know, the star show type attraction, like of a show of the boxing event. He said, I ain't like fucking Butterbean. I'm a real fighter. I went and trained at a training camp. I didn't stay in my mansion. I went and stayed in this piece of dive. I said, it don't matter if you stay in a dive. It's when you're done training, you're still living in that damn dive if you don't win. Now that's how you get the grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that, man. Let me ask you this. That just brings up something to me. I love the Rocky movies. What did you watch the Rocky movies, and what does that mean to you? And do you think, because people always ask me this,
what person in their 50s haven't watched the Rocky movies?
Right.
Is it a good interpretation of boxing?
Yeah, no. I mean, it is a point. I mean, just like the wrestlers are a good interpretation of wrestling.
Right. And see, that's what I was going with, because people always ask me, The Wrestler, that movie with Mickey Rourke, how close is it to the real thing? And I'm like, I mean, it's kind of, but yeah, not sort of. But so that's what
it gives you the mindset of a lot of the wrestlers, though.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd rather put over a great show than make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Or live.
Yeah.
You know, putting on that last big show is the most important thing in their world.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was your biggest fight? What
the biggest name would be Holmes.
And
probably Larry Holmes.
It just meant a lot to you?
You know, it was a first 10-round fight. You know, and I went the distance with him. I mean, I wish it was a 12-round fight, but it was only a 10-round fight.
Yeah.
My stamina was great. I mean, I pushed him to his limit. I mean, he just run from me the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
But it shut up a lot of these critics. Oh, Butterbean can't go past 4 rounds. That's why he does 4-rounders. That wasn't the point. Hell, I was getting so much money. Why fight more than 4 rounds? I was getting paid what 10-round fighters were getting paid.
Yeah,
guys, it's not like they were going
fight
to
smarter,
usually.
not harder. You know, you got to fight smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Was Larry a pretty heavy hitter?
Not really. I mean, he hit me with his best shot. I looked at him and smiled. I go, is that the best you got, Larry? He got scared. That's when he started running from me.
Okay.
Who was the hardest hitter you ever fought?
You know, you don't really feel like that. I thought a lot of guys, you don't feel like that. If you take a baseball bat and hit the ground, you feel a vibration. That's about all you feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's for me anyhow.
Yeah. When did you figure out that, man, boxing is my thing and I can beat people up? Was it like as a kid, did you beat people up on the playground, or, I mean, just when did you figure out, man?
When I got paid $1,000 for beating up 4 guys in one night at a tough man contest, I was making like $250 a week at a factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I realized.
Yeah. That's
pretty cool. I can beat these guys up and not go to jail, and hell, they give me a lot of money. Yes. I like this.
Yes, very cool.
Let's do it again. Let's go. How about next week, guys? Now we only do it every 6 months, so I started traveling around and finding them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Do you see these rough and rowdy brawls that Barstool Sports put on? Do you see those ever?
Never.
Yeah. It's pretty rough, man, because there's never anybody that really, it's just, you know, kind of sloppy, if that's a word.
That reminds me of Kimbo Slice. I think he passed away, I think.
Yep, he did.
What do you think about that dude?
I didn't think he could fight. I'd love to have fought him.
Oh, man.
Could you whoop his ass?
I could. I think I would have. But, you know, but we both fought on a top team, so it probably would have never happened in an MMA fight in the later event.
Yeah.
Right.
Because top team kind of kept the two guys away from each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a human being, everybody says he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Dan Lambert, man. That guy's a huge wrestling fan. Do you know Dan pretty well?
Yeah, he owns Top Team.
Right.
I've only like briefly, you know, nothing, no huge, you know, no good friendship or anything with him. I mean, I know of him real well.
What about another?
He's done
guy?
a lot of good for the sport.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, the opposite has got to be your time in Jackass with Johnny Knoxville, man. How was that?
Those guys are crazy. I was just with them probably about a month ago. We just shot the Family Feud.
Okay, yeah, right. The Celebrity Family Feud. I saw that. Yeah.
So, that should be good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So those guys are just literally, I mean, they're stuntmen, right? They're essentially very tough stuntmen, correct?
Basically, yeah, crazy. No fear.
No fear. Yeah. I mean, because I think you kind of changed Johnny forever in a lot of ways, because he's had a lot of concussions, but I think you really put one on him. And I mean, you're doing your job.
Well, he said he had vertigo for like 6 weeks after that. I mean, he said it really messed him up.
Yeah. They
I would imagine.
I mean,
I would imagine. Jesus. That's hilarious.
So what do you think of the things that those guys do? I mean, do you think that they are crazier than they should be, or does the money make that crazy worth it?
You know, the money makes them do it. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know if it's money with them guys or not. They'd be doing that stupid shit even if there wasn't no money.
Right.
That's just how they are. Other people's different ways. You know, I do it for that money, you know, but they do it for the fun of it. They do it because, hell, jumping off this roof with rockets strapped to my ass sounds like a really good idea. Let's try this.
I think I'd rather do that than get punched by Butterbean, though.
Yeah.
They got to come up with the next thing, you know. It's just the bull thing, which I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, to let a damn bull ram you.
Oh,
Let's go into this. Because obviously we talked about boxing and whatnot. Wrestling. Were you a wrestling fan growing up, or it just
I was younger, but when I did it, I wasn't.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You know, when I was growing up as a kid, who a kid is not a wrestling fan.
Right.
My two grandkids could tell you the world about wrestling even more than most wrestlers know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you know, when I actually did it, I wasn't wrestling. You know, I wasn't really following it or anything.
Right. So as a kid, you didn't watch wrestling. You didn't have any ties to it or anything. You just kind of fell into it.
No, when I was a kid, I watched it. You know, That's back during the Bobo Brazil, Junkyard Dog. I mean, yeah, old school guys.
Who were your influences? Who did you like as wrestling people?
I like Bobo Brazil because I actually have to meet him, you know, before he passed. But yeah,
that's awesome.
He was one of them because he's a big guy like I was.
Right.
He's an all-time.
And man, and like I told you when I saw you at the RobCon, man, I posted that picture of me and you, and it blew up, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, that's Butterbean!" I mean, you've lost a ton of weight, and
I've lost a lot of weight. People don't recognize me. They think I'm dead. You know, but that's cool.
How are you doing that? What's going on with how you're losing the weight? And
well, you know, I've been working with Diamond.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of weight during that 4 months, and just sticking to what, you know, he worked with us on to change my diet. A lot of gluten-free, dairy-free stuff.
Yeah.
And doing the DDPY yoga.
Gotcha. So it's yoga every day and just changing the diet, and that
helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally understand that. I had a heart attack about a year ago, man, and I've changed a lot of things about the way I do stuff as far as in the gym, and also what I eat and stuff. So yeah, I can totally understand that, man. We appreciate you coming on, and
hey, we'll have to do this again.
Yes,
sure, man.
Awesome, man. Man, it was so nice to meet you, man. You're somebody that I like. I don't mark out for a lot of people, but I totally marked out for you, man. And I appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. Thanks, Butter.
Bye. We'll see y'all soon.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back with current affairs.
DJ, hit the music.
It's a current affair. It's a current affair. Love it in color. It's a current affair. Love it in color.
All right, we're back with current affairs and Wolfie D.
My favorite part.
Hey, they still listen. I look at the percentages of our show, and they're still listening right now. So that's the important part.
All right.
Everything,
that's all that counts.
Everything matters if they're still listening. So with current affairs, obviously, I'm trying to bring some good stuff here. So the very first one, and this one is kind of one that it's been, I was like, this isn't the most important, but it is probably to us. And so I'm getting this one out of the way because it's kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. Now, we appreciate all the promotions from WWE, AEW, TNA, Impact, whatever, NWA. We love that they're all trying their best to do what it seems to be their best for the product. But the NWA right now has it's pissed me off a little bit. Now, I love Billy Corgan. I love the Smashing Pumpkins. I got a friend there, Plunky. Respect them all. But do you know the wrestler Rodney Mack?
Yeah.
Okay. They put him in the question mark gimmick, dude.
Oh, I saw something. Now, I was going to preempt all this. Whatever your question was, I was going to say, I haven't done as good in the past, couple of weeks, keeping up with what's going on as I had been to try to help out with, being more knowledgeable on the show or whatever. But anyway, I did see a picture of, I guess it was the card and, whatever picture of it. I was like, well, I know that's not my buddy, Josephus, rest in peace. So why would they be doing this? And to me, I don't know if I like that a lot, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I don't like it at all.
That's cool. I get it that it's a gimmick, but man, the guy just passed away. Come on.
Right. I mean, again, I assume that Aaron was really good friends with him. I assume that's who's the guy that, he was Damian Sandow. They were close during the last years of his life. I know he's good buddies with Billy Corgan. So I am hoping, and I feel like that this is probably coming from a good place of a respect thing of keeping the game. But dude, I don't like it. I can't.
Yeah, I feel it's where it could be kind of paying homage. Everybody says that.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's it, but I still don't like it. That was him, and
right.
I don't think that I had ever seen. It's not like he was an assassin or a medic, or you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't think I had ever seen someone be the question mark before like that. I don't. Maybe I'm, not the greatest historian, but I don't think I had seen that before. So it was unique to him. It wasn't, like I said, the grappler.
The grappler.
The Inferno One. Or anything.
Like you said, I mean, what was that? Tommy Heggie, the crew out there?
Dante.
Yeah, Mephisto and Dante. I know they had several of those at different shows so they could just run the gimmick at different shows.
Right.
But at the same time, dude, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not saying that anybody should listen to my opinion, but if I'm getting a vote, I vote no on this one, Billy. So, hey, I still love the Smashing Pumpkins. Some of the music got me through my teenage years, but dude, I don't know, man. I got to call bullshit on this one. So anyway,
there goes our chances of getting Billy Corgan.
I was just about to say that. That's so funny. Oh, dude. Hey, if that causes him not to come on, we're sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, it's whatever. All right.
Yes. Fight on my rage. I am still just a rat in a cage.
I'm saying we could have put a musical act together, Wolfie D. Why didn't we? Okay. All right. So the next one, and again, I wanted to get the mean one out of the way because some of these are kind of fun. All right. So another thing that's been going on recently at the live events and even at Raw between the commercial breaks is WWE has been playing this song White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. And simultaneously, they're showing a QR code in the crowd. Like somebody will walk out in the crowd with a QR code. Mm-hmm. And so somebody on the internet, I would give you props for it, but I don't remember. But what it is you scan the QR code and it takes you to a version of Hangman with a rabbit, something to do with 9/23, the date. So it's like this Friday, I think, and it spells out something. Now, be as it may, I love this stuff. You know, when Jericho was doing the countdown, we didn't know it was Jericho. We just knew there's this countdown to the Y2K. And, you know, it was so opportunistic, too, because of the same thing going on in the country with the worry about the Y2K deal. But this is cool, man. People are saying a lot of things, but they're saying it might be Bray Wyatt's return because it could be a lot of things. I mean, that's a innovative idea. As you're explaining it, I'm still trying to like understand it. I'd have to see it, but from what I'm gathering, I mean, it just sounds like an innovative idea using technology to further your product. So, depending on what that all means, you know, like I said, I have to see it to try to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, it just sounds innovative. Yeah, and I mean, it's weird. I don't even know if it's been aired on television except one time. It's mostly something they've been pushing at live events and stuff, and I don't know. Who knows? It could be. The problem is we're so many years we were let down by big hype, you know? So it's best to remain cautious and not get too excited, but it'd be great to see Bray Wyatt back. I would love that because he did some fun stuff.
It's about time.
It is. It is. And, you know, at the same time, it could be the return of some bad wrestler that we don't. The
gobbledygooker.
Gobbledygooker.
In rabbit form.
Oh, my God. Dear Lord. What about Bastion Booger?
Or one of those, what's it called? Five Nights at Freddy's. It could be in there a rabbit one. Maybe.
Yes. Yes. Yes, dude. My kid was obsessed with that. My son.
Yeah, that's the only way I know that. I mean,
dude, I'm saying he was eat up with that, man. So, you know, but anyway, all right. Well, we'll see on that. Hopefully, it's Bray Wyatt. If it's not, it'll be something else. We know that. So, going forward, the next one is last Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. Jericho won the Ring of Honor heavyweight title. So just to understand this, Wolfie D, Jericho won the Ring of Honor world title on AEW Dynamite.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, 8th title. His 8th heavyweight title is what they say. So,
and he's holding how many right now simultaneously? Just
one. Just one. But he's held 8 apparently. And I'm thinking, what are the 8? You know, there was AEW's title. There was WWE 2 titles. So that kind of is 3. I think he held the IWGP. I don't know, man.
I would know. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But what's the question? What are you asking me about that?
I'm just saying they just put it on Claudio Castagnoli, you know, trying to kind of not only, you know, cement that title, but also kind of put him over. What do you think the deal is putting it on Jericho? I mean,
possibly to give the Ring of Honor title some more meaning, legitimacy, would be my guess. I mean, it'd be the only reason for him to, because the way I understand it, it's kind of like an AEW Umbrella's Ring of Honor, in New Japan or whatever. And is that the only 2?
Well, New Japan is a loose affiliation basically now.
Well, that's what I mean. They all kind of their little things.
They all work together.
All kind of working together. Yeah. So Ring of Honor it had kind of gone way, way down. And then Tony Khan picks it up. So I guess in order to bring it up, didn't they took it off the Gresham guy, and then they put it on Claudio, and then you say Jericho won it. So
yeah,
it's been a step up every time. Let Jericho run with it and make it mean something.
Sure.
Then you've got maybe Ring of Honor meaning a little more than just Tony's other league. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A B world title.
Maybe try to give it a little bit of a standalone credibility, because it does not at the moment, from what I can tell.
Yeah, and when we talked to Jerry Lynn, I was trying to get it out of him if there was going to be a show, but he just gave me the kayfabed, and I respect that. He works for the company, but he kayfabed us on that and said, I think they need to,
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, there's enough fluctuation with everything weekly in wrestling. Is it missing Ring of Honor? I don't know. I didn't really watch Ring of Honor when it was on.
I don't either,
but I think it was just hard to find. It wasn't easy to, it was on, but it was just not on a great night. Typically Saturday night is not a good TV show night, really. Is it? Kind of
I guess if you can train your viewers to watch whatever day. People used to say, don't run on this day or don't run it. Now, when we're talking small town independent shows, don't run on Friday night. If football is one of the biggest, high school football is one of the biggest things in town, that'd be a very dumb decision. But when we're talking about, this day and age in television, I don't think it really matters. You could, if you miss it, you just go back and stream it.
Well, this leads me into a question here. So back in the day, when you were working, let's just say you were in the USWA and things are going good, where did you all work Friday nights normally?
It would be some spot show. Thursdays and Fridays were some spot shows, meaning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, it was etched in stone. You knew where you were every week. Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, Nashville. But the other ones would be usually Buddy Wayne shows, which down in Mississippi, Arkansas, something like that. Then Bert Prentice came around and he started running a little bit on those nights. Some of us would work for him. And then sometimes Eddie Marlin every once in a blue moon would run a show, or just some, person that would run every once in a while and would affiliate with USWA to be able to use the talent, something like that.
Yeah.
Usually somewhere around Memphis. Every now and then it would be up in, like a Kentucky, Louisville, Indiana area, but they tried to book stuff Friday close to Memphis because we had to be at TV the next morning so early.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So you're not having to travel so far. So did you ever notice that high school football killed the crowd?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're just
absolutely.
Like, man, I thought we had a great show.
And it's like, if you're in a town with a shitty team, it might not, but if you're in one of those towns, man, that local high school football is their shit and they win a lot, you might as well forget it.
Yeah. See, that was my hometown growing up. Lebanon, dude, we used to kill it in football. We went to state like 3 times. But at the same time, you shut down town on Friday night. So you would never want to run there. But then a town next to us, it wasn't so hot. Even though they cared about it a lot, it wasn't so hot. You could probably run a show there. And that's actually where the local wrestler, his name's Iron Cross. and he ran in there, and he would run with a Bo James show somewhere, or I think there was a guy named Stan Lee or something, or Stan, I can't remember, Paul Lee, I can't remember, never mind. But long story short, bunch of that. So anyway, well, that kind of wraps that one up. Now, my very last one, and I wanted to kind of save this one for the last, because obviously, if you've been living under a rock, you may not notice this, but Roman Reigns and Logan Paul is the next big match for the WWE, and that's going to happen at the Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. So here's my thought on this, okay?
All right.
And I'm going to ask you, I definitely want your thought on it, but I just want to get mine out of the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, Logan is a big name, okay? And if this were SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, or Royal Rumble, I don't think this match would be happening. But it's in Saudi Arabia. I know there's some guys that won't even go because of it being in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Then also it's going to be in a weirder front of a crowd that maybe doesn't care. I mean, I think they thought at one time, I heard the Saudi Arabia guys were like, hey, we want the Ultimate Warrior, the Undertaker, King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd. They were like thinking that was still going on, you know?
Yeah.
And so they didn't know that he wasn't alive. But, you know, so long story short on that, I think Logan Paul is a massive worldwide name. That's why they're using him. Now, I'm going to shut up and let you talk. Have you heard about this, obviously?
I have not heard anything about it. What you just said is all news to me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much everything you said. I didn't know that. I mean, Roman Reigns and Logan Paul would be a good match from what I've seen of Logan Paul. I mean, they all say he's the best crossover ever, and so. Yeah, man, it's whatever they want, I guess. If that's and I had no idea about that they're that far behind, but yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it.
Yeah,
but I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, if that's what if that's what they'll pay to see, send them.
Right. But I mean, it's really putting the rocket on Logan's back, though. In my opinion.
Yeah,
and I mean,
and plus he's going to get the TV coverage here anyway. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, the crowd that it's in front of, I guess the only thing would be what kind of reaction will it have, and how will that come across on TV? Because again, nothing really matters except for the TV and
right.
The crowd. Obviously, the hotter the better, but it's the TV.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Saudi Arabian crowd, dude, when you get there, I think it's like, I think it's all men, to be honest. And I'm serious. Yeah, and then the front rows are basically the sheiks, the shahs or whatever, you know, and they got their garb on and stuff. And it looks like a bunch of Omar Al-Kazans over there. I'm just
right.
But pulled that one out. Anyway, but at the same time, I could almost see. It's crazy because I almost think it's crazy because they're putting him in there so fast. But at the same time, I almost think it would be crazy if they didn't take advantage of it, Yeah. So I don't know.
We shall see.
I mean, what would you think? I mean, because Lawler did it. Lawler did it. He took, a popular comedian that everybody thought was crazy and honestly worked one of the most legendary wrestling angles of all time. Easily top 5 of all time, story-wise. So, I mean, Lawler saw it, he did it, so why can't anybody else? I just feel like the way they've put over Roman, literally almost losing to Brock Lesnar with all these false finishes and stuff like that, it's crazy to think that Logan Paul can get in there and do any kind of damage, but then he's got the boxing angle where he's went toe-to-toe with Floyd Mayweather. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of story they can tell us.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about really the angle. I'm talking about in the ring. That's where the storytelling in the ring comes into play. So
yeah. I mean, they've done it with less before. That's a good point. But anyway, I thought you were just kayfabing me and not answering the phone, but you really haven't been touching your phone if you haven't heard about this, brother.
No, I really haven't.
You've been working on Spiderland there, so.
Past few days, man, messing with that spider and just. I get in my own little world sometimes.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Well, hey, whenever you need it, you let us know. So we're good, brother. But anyway, I think that's it for current affairs, man. I feel good about it. Don't like the question mark.
But. Great talking to Butterbean. I hope everybody enjoyed that. And we appreciate him once again coming on. Thanks to the sponsors. Thanks to the listeners. And for Jimmy across the street, this is Wolfie D. Saying, see you next week.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling. Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's right, it's the Talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Join me, Gene Jackson, for the Jackson Interaction Podcast, where I'll be doing one-on-one interviews with people from the world of professional wrestling, as well as stand-up comedy. You can get them anywhere podcasts are available in both video and audio form, but you can find them all at genejacksonpod.com.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He
got a cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color, plum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hopping. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.